Sponges. They're the everyday cleaning item we use for daily tasks like washing the dishes or cleaning the car. But for one mother of 3, they're utilised in a rather unusual way.
On my worst day, I'd probably go through about 3 sponges a day. When I had my oldest Jack, it was very traumatic, the pregnancy. I took about 20 odd sponges with me. They wouldn't let me chew the sponge at all. They said I'd choke. After I had Jack, I still got the sponges, and it's never stopped. But my kids are getting older, and I can't let them see what I'm doing. It's becoming a big problem. We actually walked home once in the pouring rain because I thought I picked up my bank card off the sideboard, and we were cutting through boots. We went through the aisle where the sponges were, and these were the really nice sponge. It was called a honeycomb sponge, which I hadn't had before, but it was like £2.29, and I only had £2.50 in my pocket, and that was the bus fare. We walked home in the pouring rain because I needed the sponge.
After finally admitting that her addiction to chewing sponges has got out of hand, Emma reached out to the Speakmans for help.
The condition that you're suffering with is actually called Pica, and what that is a persistent chew or eat things that have absolutely no nutritional value whatsoever. How long ago do you think this started?
Roughly a week and a half after my nana died. I had a very small abscess in my mouth, and I just broke the sponge off and put it in my mouth. It felt nice on the abscess, but then I found myself chewing it, and as I was chewing it, it was like a sense of relief.
So you've sat there right now as someone who's becoming very toxic.
They use sheets of what's known as cellulose to make a sponge. That gets soaked in chemicals. They create these blocks, and then the blocks are put in bleach.
I've never gave it a thought. I just thought they were, you know, clean. You clean yourselves with them, you know, there's going to be nothing there to harm you.
You're slowly killing yourself. What difficulties have you got in your life?
My nana disappeared. There was arguments. People lost touch.
Tell me what happened to you, Nan. Did you know she was dying? Was it sudden?
She got ill with her kidneys. She'd found out that she needed another operation, and if she had this operation, she'd need care, you know, she wouldn't be able to manage it on her own. She asked to stop taking her medication. The last day that I seen her, there was something there, like I knew she wasn't going to be okay. I got a call to say she'd gone in asleep.
You've not grieved at all, have you?
I don't talk about that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're doing it today.
I think I feel as if she didn't need to have chose that decision, but she just met my new partner, and she knew that I'd be okay, but I feel like I failed her because she didn't come to me.
You said a couple of times there, she made a decision.
She did.
You know, not many people get that opportunity, because a lot of people, when they die, it's taken away from them, but she made a decision, but she made sure that you were going to be okay before she went.
Yeah. I've never thought about it like that. Never.
This started at a time when you felt a bit out of control. There was a lot going on in your life. You, in that moment, gave the sponge full credit, but your problem still existed. One thing that you hadn't been aware of was the medical implications. So just before we conclude, what I'd like to do at this point is just show you a sponge and tell me how you feel about it. So let me give you that now.
They've been my enemy, really, sponges, because they've stopped me talking to people, being honest to people, and they've been harming me as well. What desire have you got to eat any of that? It's not there anymore. You know, I could visualise it as something really bad. It's not the same. Good. Well done. Really proud of you. I can't believe it.
Wow, and Emma joins us now alongside Nick and Eva. Welcome to all of you. And I think that was it, wasn't it, that statement there? So I think you thought was your best friend, you suddenly realised was actually the enemy. So how has life been for you?
It's completely changed since that day I went to see the Speakmans. I feel great. I've never touched a sponge. Never. Though I've got rid of them all out of my house. you know, I've realised that it's been more than sponges.
Yeah.
It's been like problems that I've kept for years, and I didn't need it all these years. It was something I thought I wanted, but to help me with my problems and things. But really, all I needed to do was to have talked to somebody.
Yeah. And when you did talk, you suddenly realised that you could be helped. When you thought, there's no hope for me here, because you've never told anybody about this.
Nobody. No, only my husband. My oldest son only found out a year ago.
There's a big old secret for you to be carrying around for so long. And something that came out there was the health implications of this. And we know that you went to the doctors and had lots of tests. Have you had results back to see how it has affected your health?
They phoned me yesterday. They said that there's some foreign bodies in my blood, which the doctor says could be the toxics. Which is why I've been ill for the last 6-7 months. Loss of hair, bad stomachs, bleeding gums, lots of other difficulties.
And is that something that will change, or as the toxins leave your body?
Toxins leave the body, yes.
So no permanent damage, thankfully.
No, thankfully.
Well, that's a relief.
Lots of people have said Pica can't be cured.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think for us, we believe that everything is a symptom. So, you know, Emma didn't choose to eat sponges. It was a symptom and there was a cause behind it. And as you know, that's what we always look for. So we know that one day she wasn't eating sponges and then something changed. And what we looked at is what actually changed on that day. And we literally just dealt with that and helped her to talk. One thing she never did, she never talked about her issues.
And Nick, that's the thing, there's so much shame surrounding this, isn't there? That people don't talk about it because they're embarrassed.
Very much so. But in general, people don't talk about the problems. And there shouldn't be embarrassment, because it's embarrassment that creates more problems and creates situations like this and creates anxiety. And the big thing that we discovered, this really was caused through not grieving and feeling that she'd let a grandma down, which she hadn't. But it was a coping mechanism. And whether it's an addiction, whether it's an OCD, whether it's a fear, a phobia, or anything like that, they're all coping mechanisms. And if you go back to the day before it started, you can fix those things.
And you've said yourself, not talking about it made it so much worse.
It made it a whole lot worse. It was... Every time I had a bad thought or a worry, I used to just go for the sponge. I felt like the sponge was like my friend, like I'd chew the problem away, but I know I see it all differently, you know, and I just hope that somebody out there that's seen this story, and if they've got any difficulties or problems the same, they can talk to somebody about it now and get the help they need.
Because
that will definitely happen.
It looks, you show that VT, and it looks incredibly unusual, but these things are quite common.
They really are. I mean, sponges is just one. Pica can consist of people eating ice, soil, clay, hair. There's a whole scope of things, but ultimately, with the sponges, they were really having a detrimental effect on Emma's health. But when she was going into hospital, she was too embarrassed to tell them the truth. Yeah. So they were clueless as to what was actually going on. But I mean, we worked with Emma, I think, over a week ago, and even seeing her within a week, the change in her has been unbelievable. She's got colour in her face, she's more confident.
Free.
She's free,
Free from it, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you. Well done, as always. Brilliant.
Lovely to meet you.